you're so hot. Can I have your number? Let's go out on a date sometime. Like, oh, let me put a ring on that finger. Like,
and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. It has been a hot freaking minute since I've done one of these Q&As. I think it might have been since Vlogmas. I don't know, but it's been a hot minute, so I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys have been asking me on my Instagram. So I popped up a little question box on my Instagram, and I'm going to be going through some of those questions with you guys today. I haven't looked over any of these questions beforehand, so I'm going to be going through them all natural, my initial reaction with you guys here today. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Alright, so I wanted to dive right into it, so I popped up a little questions poll on my Instagram, which if you're not following, scurry yourself off, go hit that follow button, and then return to this video. Thanks, love you. So we're going to get through some of those questions today. So question numero uno, that's number one in Spanish, hashtag Spanish Chats with Marissa. The first question is, any recommendations for Alani Nu? Also, can you give more information about what it's used for? I absolutely love Alani Nu. It is seriously a supplement company that I can stand by 110%. If you know me, you know that I had a very, very difficult time in the beginning committing to supplements because they are not regulated by the FDA. I was very nervous about what I was going to be putting into my body. I didn't know if a company that I would be spending my time and my money on was going to be worth my time. So I did a ton of research, and everything I saw from Alani Nu was 110% worth it. I take 3 products from Alani Nu. I take their pre-workout, their pump, and their plant protein. So just to quickly go over what these are, and if you have any extra questions, I did actually do a whole YouTube video about supplements that I can link below, but pre-workout and pump I mix together every single morning before my workout. Pre-workout is what has the beta-alanine and the caffeine in it. That is what, if you ever hear someone talk about pre-workout, they feel like itchy and jittery and like amped up and ready for their workout. That typically comes from the pre-workout because it does have that caffeine in it, and it has that beta-alanine, which can make you feel all itchy on the insides if you take it too long before your workout. That is what's going to give you endurance. It's going to give you energy for your workout. I mix that with pump. So pump is a stim-free product. What that means is that it has no caffeine, it has no beta-alanine. So if you want to get similar effects to the pre-workout without the caffeine and the beta-alanine, I would just stick with strictly the pump. I mix the two together, so I get the caffeine, I get the energy on top of getting blood flow to your muscles, because the pump is also a vasodilator, which means that it opens up your blood vessels so blood can go right to your muscles and make you feel all nice and juicy and strong and pumped. After my workout, I move into protein. You can take protein anytime throughout the course of your day. There's whey protein and plant protein. There's not one reason over another why I picked plant protein over whey protein. I just did it and I absolutely love it, so I've been sticking with it. But the plant protein I mix in smoothies afterwards, or you could just mix it with water or milk post-workout, but I mix it typically with fruit or with peanut butter and banana in a smoothie with my breakfast afterwards. My biggest suggestion for you, if you're going to be trying out protein, is after you work out, you should be consuming your protein supplement within 45 minutes to an hour post-workout for the optimum effects of that protein. I absolutely love everything from Alani Nu. My 2 favorite protein flavors are going to be their chocolate and their fruity cereal. They are thebomb.com. As far as pre-workout and pump, I absolutely love anything Arctic White. I love Breezeberry, and I love the black cherry. Those are my go-tos. My favorite combo of all times is Breezeberry and Arctic White combined together. They are absolutely delicious and totally worth every single cent. Supplements are not a necessity to see any gains or any progress in your fitness or your health journey. However, they will aid you, A-I-D, not aid you, because I know that can get confusing, aid you in your fitness journey if you wanted to do them. The next question is, how do I do bicep curls with weights without feeling fatigued and numb in my arms afterwards? So when I lift bicep curls. Sometimes I have really bad wrist problems as well, so I would say probably the biggest issues that you're experiencing are actually due to tightness in your forearms. I know a lot of people, when they start really actively lifting or doing things where they're up on their wrists a lot, like push-ups or plank positions or things like that, in the beginning your wrists can definitely start to get sore. So my biggest thing that I would suggest to you, if you're starting to run into this problem when you're doing bicep curls or other upper body exercises, is to really take the time to massage out your forearms, whether that's with a massage gun or just with your hands, or if you have like a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball. Really take the time to massage out your forearms, because a big reason why you may be feeling fatigued and kind of like tingly afterwards is because your forearms are really sore, and then that can translate into wrist pain, finger pain, all of that. So my biggest suggestion to first try out is really focus on massaging out those forearms, and then from there hopefully that will help you with those pains that you're feeling. The next question is how to get more calories in without it being unhealthy. This is a super big question, because a lot of people who are trying to gain muscle and gain weight want to be eating extra calories, but they're not really sure how to do it in a healthy way. By putting extra calories into your body, we're not saying to run out to McDonald's and eat a Big Mac and fries, because of course that has probably like 1,500 calories just in that one meal. That's not what we're saying at all. My biggest suggestion, if you're trying to put extra calories into your body, but you want to do it in a healthy way, is to eat something every 4 hours. I'm not saying to eat big meals every 4 hours. I'm just saying to put something into your body every 4 hours. Yes, of course, you should be hitting 3 or 4 big meals a day. So you're hitting breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe a meal in between, depending on what your hunger cues are. But throughout the course of the day, let's say you eat breakfast at 7 in the morning and you don't eat lunch till 12:30, 1 o'clock. In the middle of that time period, get a little snack in, whether that's some trail mix, whether that's a yogurt and granola, whether that's some fruit. It doesn't really matter what the case may be, but try to get that extra amount of calories into your body in a healthy way. Some of the biggest things that I can suggest that are high in calories but also not unhealthy for you is peanut butter is really good health benefits, but it also is high in calories. Trail mix is another one, that anything with nuts in it is very high in calories, but also it's not horrible for you as well. So my biggest thing, if you're trying to get extra calories in, is it's going to take time, 100%, because your body and your stomach needs to adjust, but slowly start to incorporate more food into your diet by eating every 4 hours. No matter what that meal or what that thing looks like, make sure that you're putting something into your body every 4 hours. Even if it's a smoothie or a protein shake, whatever the case may be, just make sure you're constantly putting stuff in, and that way your metabolism is constantly running and you'll eventually be hungry at those times naturally. The next question is, how are you so confident 24/7? To be honest, I am not confident 24/7. I know that it may feel like fitness influencers or people who put themselves out in a fitness setting on social media feel confident 24/7, but I can promise you that that is not the case. I 110% have bad body image days as well. I don't always show that on social media because I'm posting pictures that, yes, of course, I feel confident in, but there are some days when I'm working out in the gym and I'm wearing a sports bra or a crop top and leggings and I am not confident in myself at all. So I am certainly not confident in myself 24/7. I do think I am a fairly confident person, and truly that confidence comes from knowing that I am the only me. And I feel like when I came to that realization, that was a huge thing for me. There is no one like you in this world. There are people who may be doing similar things or like similar things as you, but they are not you. You are the only you. And I don't think that there's any reason to be ashamed of that. I think you have your personality and you should just not be afraid to show that to the world. So for me, that means going to the gym and working on me, but also dancing and having a good time and doing weird voices on my stories. I am not ashamed of that because that is who I am, and it's taken a long time to come to terms with that. But I would say the biggest thing, that if I could give you one piece of advice on how to be more confident, is just to be yourself. Be authentically you. And it does take a lot of time to feel confident in who you are because you're seeing so many things on social media and you're like, ooh, I wish I could be like that. Ooh, I wish I could look like that. But know that you're you. Know that there's no one more you than you. So just be confident in that and don't be afraid to be yourself. I think people are going to like you or they're not going to like you, and that's kind of that. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but you should feel confident and be happy with who you are on the inside and not be afraid to show that to the world. So I'm certainly not confident 24/7, but knowing that people are going to like me and they're going to hate me, whether I act like the real me me or some pretend fake version of me that I want to put out to the world makes me feel more confident in just being my real self. The next question is, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Ooh. This is a really good question. If I could change one thing about myself, I would say that I have a really, really hard time when people don't like me. So I would change that about myself because, especially now that I put myself out on social media, not every single person is going to want to follow you, especially because I didn't start a fitness page. I turned my normal Instagram into a fitness, health, and lifestyle content page. Some people have two separate pages and there's nothing wrong with that, but I decided to put it all onto one page. And I did get some backlash in the beginning for that. I had people who were like,
why are you doing that? You're going to lose followers. You're going to annoy people. You're wasting your time. You're never going to grow on Instagram.
And I have a very, very difficult time accepting those comments a lot of the times just because I don't like when people don't like me and I don't like when people have a problem with me, especially when I don't know what I did wrong. I can accept the fact that I'm not everyone's cup of tea and that not everyone in this world is going to like you. There's some people who are naturally going to gravitate towards you, and there's some people who you have nothing in common with, and that's okay. But I have a very difficult time accepting when people don't like me or if people are giving me negative backlash. I'm a major people pleaser. I want to make everyone happy all of the time. I hate it when people don't like me. I hate it when I do something that upsets someone. I will go out of my way, even if the person doesn't deserve it, to do whatever I can do to make them happy and to make them like me. And I think that if I could change one thing about myself, it would be that. The next question is, what's the best advice you've ever given? I am going to do a little spin-off of this question. So I'll do the best advice I've ever given and the best advice I've ever received. So the best advice I've ever received first is that there are people with the exact same qualities, the exact same passions, and the exact same desires as you that are not as talented and are not as skillful, that are succeeding simply because they're trying. And I know that that can be a lot to take in and a lot to process, but think about it. In this world and in your lifetime, I'm sure you have come across people who want the same things as you and aren't trying as hard, but they're doing it anyway. And they're succeeding because they're doing it. And you're sitting here maybe afraid to jump in, maybe afraid of the unknown, maybe afraid of what could happen, and then they're excelling ahead of you because they're just trying. And so that's some of the best advice I've ever received because I refuse to not be able to reach my fullest potential simply because I didn't try. So I think that that is some of the best advice because that has shown me that the worst thing you can do is try and then fail. I would rather live my life trying and failing than not trying at all and never knowing what that outcome could have been. So that's the best advice I've ever received. The best advice that I've probably given is so incredibly simple, but I say to you guys every single day on my page and on my channel, and so frequently you hear me say it, you hear me beat it into your heads, but it's to be patient to yourself, be kind to yourself, be understanding with yourself, and be forgiving with yourself. We are so quick to do all of those things to other people. We are so quick to put all of our time, all of our energy, and fill someone else's cup up so easily, but we really never do the same for ourselves. If we're having a bad day, we really never take the time to be understanding and be forgiving with ourselves. If someone else is having a bad day, we're so kind, we're so understanding, and we're so forgiving, but we don't give ourselves that same love back. So I know I beat it into your heads time and time again, but it's because I swear by it and I really, really do believe it to the fullest of my heart, is that you need to be just as kind, patient, understanding, and forgiving with yourself as you are with other people, because you need to love yourself just as much, if not more, than you love anyone else in this world. So that's some of the best advice I've ever given, and it's so incredibly simple, but I think we need to remind ourselves of that because it's so easy to fill up other people's cups, but it's not always as easy to fill up our own. Okay, the next question is top #1 tip for dating / how to get a man. So for those of you who don't know, so I've been dating the same person for 6 years, and I've been engaged to that person for almost 8 months now. So I really don't have a ton of experience with dating because I haven't dated anyone different since high school. But my biggest tip for dating / how to get a guy is to just stop looking, kind of. And I know that that may be so obvious, but the right person is going to come into your life when the time is right. If you haven't met that right person, or if you haven't met someone that you really click with, it's just because you're not ready and they're not ready yet. When the time is right, when the opportunity presents itself, it's going to be so obvious and so in front of your face that you're never going to think twice about it. If you've thought twice about someone else in the past before, they weren't the right person for you. The right person is going to come into your life, and you're never going to second guess that. Maybe in the beginning it may not hit you right away, but you're gonna know that that's the person you're supposed to be with. So to stop looking for it and kind of just don't be afraid to date, but also know that when you find the right person, it's going to be so obvious you're not going to question it. I also would say just to authentically be yourself, because you want to be the best version of yourself, putting yourself out there when you start to meet other people. When you put yourself out to find a significant other, you want to be the truest you, because if you're not yourself when you first meet someone, it's going to be so hard to start to show yourself later on in the relationship. So be your authentic true self right off the bat, and if they're meant to be your person, they're gonna love all of those things about you from the jump, and you will never have to like slowly start to ease your way into it. So just be yourself, and the person you're meant to be with is going to love you for all of those things. The next question is, what is your dream job? Honestly, I would absolutely love to own my own gym one day. It's always been my goal in life is to be able to open my own gym and to be able to create a setting and to create an atmosphere where people feel comfortable. I know that the gym can be such an intimidating and uncomfortable place for so many people, and that makes me really, really upset. And so I want to be able to create a gym and to have clients and to run classes where people feel like they can show up as themselves and not feel self-conscious about people judging them around them. I want to build a community around me and around my gym and around my business that people feel confident being their self with me and in that setting. And that has always been a goal of mine. I wanted so much in my life to be a personal trainer, and I am. I wanted to get my group exercise certification, and I did. And being able to put all of those things to use while developing a community around me that is full of such amazing, beautiful people who can show their real selves and not be nervous of judgment sounds like the absolute perfect plan for me. So I would absolutely love to open my own place one day and be able to really build myself and build my business and community that way. Next question is, does Timmy care you put your body out on social media? I actually get this question. I think I answered this in my last Q&A, so I'm just going to run through it super speedy quick. In all honesty, no, because he doesn't see it as me putting myself out there on social media. I also do not entertain anyone's comments who is hitting me up being like,
"You're so hot. Can I have your number? Let's go out on a date sometime." Like, "Oh, let me put a ring on that finger." Like,
we don't entertain those comments because I am very, very happy in my relationship with the person that I'm with. So he knows that when I post pictures in a sports bra and leggings or in a bikini, it's not to get guys' attentions. It's for a purpose. It's for a reason. It's for the community of people I'm building around me. And so he's very, very supportive of me and my goals and my mission, and he supports me 110%. I don't think that he thinks of it as me putting myself out there on social media and just to show my body off, because that's not what I'm doing, and he knows that, and he knows the deeper meaning behind everything that I do, and he's my biggest fan. So I think that he's very confident in our relationship just like I am, so there's nothing to worry about. Okay, and the last question is, how many calories should I be eating to gain muscle? So this is so different from person to person because everyone puts out a different amount of calories every single day, and everyone can physically eat a certain amount of calories every single day. But when I started to really make the jump from kind of just living a fit life to wanting to gain muscle and become more lean, I jumped up to probably anywhere about 2,000 to 2,200 calories every single day. It's not easy at first, but you have to up your calorie intake. It's going to be so different from person to person. So my biggest thing that I could suggest is go onto Google and Google like macro calculator or calorie calculator and enter in all of your information and your goals, and it helps you kind of calculate it that way. I think that for most people, aiming anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 calories when your goal is gaining lean muscle mass is a good place to start. It's definitely going to be difficult at first because, like I said before, you're going to have to be eating pretty frequently throughout the course of the day, but the more you're doing it, the easier it gets, and it just becomes kind of part of your routine, and you also are going to be getting hungry at those times. So while I can't give a definite answer because it's so different from person to person, the biggest thing that I would say is you need to be, whatever you're eating right now, you need to be eating more and you need to be training harder. If you want to be putting muscles and see muscle definition on your body, you have to be eating to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to be in a 1,200 calorie lifestyle and be able to see these massive muscle changes. It's just not going to happen. So I would say for most people, do your own research for your own self and your own personal criteria, but for most people, it's probably anywhere from 2,000 to 2,200 calories. Alright guys, so I'm going to wrap up the video for today. I love doing Q&As. I love knowing what you guys have questions about. I love feeling like I can have a conversation and really connect with you guys on a deeper level. So if you like this video, make sure you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. You know it supports my channel and I appreciate you all so freaking much. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe so you never miss another video that I post, and you can help your girl get to 4K because we're on the road, and I would love you all so very much if it could happen. If you haven't already, make sure that you follow me on my Instagram so you can see all the other fitness, health, and lifestyle content that I post on there. Snaps as always, and I will catch you guys here next time.